and learn something valuable today and go back and make your Rotary clubs better. Okay, so the learning objectives that I'll be covering only includes 5. The number 1, district organization, the golden circle, role and responsibilities, recognition and awards, and last but not least, a Q&A/discussion if we have enough time. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat box. Thomas will be helping to answer those questions. Or if we have time, then we will go through them. Otherwise, we'll just personally text you the answers. All right. So let's begin. So let's start with the district organization, okay? Every organization out there has a structure, okay? And Rotary is nothing new. So at the top of our Rotary organization is our district governor, which is DG Teo Kwan Swee from the Rotary Club of Bukit Bintang. So the district governor supports all programs and activities in the district, and he approves new Rotary clubs and sponsor Rotary clubs. He's the one that appoints the district Rotary chair. Okay, so if you guys have attended this morning session, you guys will probably know who is the district governor, who is the DRC, and who is the DRR. So, like I mentioned, the district governor appoints the district Rotary chair. So yeah, so if I am too fast or anything, please message in the text box as well, and then Thomas will prompt me to slow down a bit. Okay. All right. So, like I mentioned, the district governor appoints a DRC, and the DRC is DRC Kelvin Crew from the Rotary Club of Damansara Heights. So the main role of a DRC is to connect Rotary clubs with one another and to strengthen the link between Rotary and Rotary. In my opinion, that's a very important role. And coming next will be the DRR, which is the District Rotary Representative, which is a Rotary protractor elected by the Rotary clubs in the district. So for the upcoming term, we actually have Lau Di Kun from Rotary Club of Ampang. I think she's here with us today. So her role is to basically represent all Rotaractors from our district and be the liaison between Rotary clubs from the same district, and she will work hand in hand with the DG and DAC. After that, you will have the District Exco, which is the team that will be helping the DRR in her term. So who is in an Exco? I can't really see the participants list right now, but I think some of them are here with us today. So first of all, you have me. I am also the DRRN. So what DRRN means, I am the nominee for become a DRR after Lee Kun's term, meaning Rotary year 2021-2022. So I will be the district trainer for the upcoming term. So if you guys have anything you guys don't understand, you guys want to have a dedicated session for your Rotary clubs, you guys can contact me and I will plan it with my team. So my team includes Thomas, Sashi from Rotary Club of APU, and also Derek Kaur from Rotary Club Ampang, and Terence from Rotary Club of Bukit Bintang. Next up, we have our District Secretary, KP Melody Tam, District Treasurer, Long Fu. And for this term, there is something different, which is we actually have 2 District International Service Director. So the 2 District International Service Director includes Wong Ki from Rotary Club of Pudu and PP Chong Hui Ting from Rotary Club of Ampang. So the reason why we have 2 International Service Directors this term is because we will be very busy with our international relationships with other Rotary clubs, because we're hosting the Asia Pacific Regional Rotary Conference, which is a very big thing. And also we are visiting our district, our sister district next term, which is Rotary District 3501. Then we have Melissa Kaur, our District Public Image Director. And also we have 2 District Community Service Director this upcoming term as well, because the team that our DRR has chosen is to help the Orang Asli community in the Peninsular Malaysia region. So one of the roles for them is they are planning to achieve 80,000 ringgit to help build a house, to build a home for the Orang Asli community. So later on, DRR Likun will actually touch more on this. Moving on, we have our IPDRR Chastochin, which is the District Resolution and Award Share. Okay. So coming down after the District Exco will be the District Board, which is made up of all of you, future presidents. Okay. So the District Board is made up of all the presidents and secretaries of the district that have paid their district dues. And they are responsible for making all the decisions for the district. So that's why it's very important for you guys to pay your dues. So yeah, and then after that, last but not least, you will have your road track members. Okay, all good so far? Do you guys understand the structure of road track? If there's nothing, then I will continue. Okay, so once the district organization is done, we'll go on into how you guys can actually try and make the road track clubs better. Okay, so before we move on to the next segment, I just want to see if any of you guys have heard of this man called Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek, yes. Have any of you guys heard of him? Maybe raise your hands or say yes. You guys can unmute yourselves.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, awesome, yeah. So the topic that I'll be touching on today is actually a topic that was brought up by Simon Sinek in one of his TED Talks. And I find it very useful, and I think that it will hopefully make you guys inspire your team. And this concept is actually called the golden circle. So the golden circle is made up of what, how, and why. So let me define this really quick. Okay. So what for the outside layer refers to what you need to do in an organization. Most people know what they need to do. For example, Jagdish, you're a student, right?
Yes.
Student/intern. Okay. So let me ask you, what do you need to do as a student?
Go to uni and study.
All right. So you go to uni and study. So you know what you need to do. You need to basically go to uni, study, pass all the exams, and graduate, correct?
Yeah.
That's basically it. But do you know how to pass all the exams and graduate?
You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, once you know the what, some people know the how. I believe Jagdish knows the how. I mean, like, you're interning at such a good company, right? Okay, so how actually refers to how you do it. For example, you can set aside time to study, or you can try out different strategies, like maybe find somebody that's super good in maths to teach you maths. Yeah, but very few people know why they do something. And by why, I actually mean like your purpose, the cause, and belief. Jagdish, do you know why you're studying software engineering?
Yeah, because I sort of like fancy more to technology kind of like side. So I wanted to pursue like software engineering.
Yeah, I think that is a very good why. So you see, so what this author is trying to make is that what makes a successful organization is if you work from the inside out, not from the outside in. Okay, so I usually ask myself this question a lot, and that's why you can actually see, if you meet me in person, you see that I have a lot of white hairs, because I'm constantly thinking about why, you know? So inspired leaders are actually all act from the inside out, like I mentioned previously. So they determine the why, then the how, and then the what. So let's explore a little bit more on how this circle will actually help you lead a great club. Okay? So yeah, this author Simon Sinek is very good by asking this question. You always have to start with why. And like I mentioned previously, why is all about purpose, it's all about your cause, and it's all about your belief. So for example, my why is that I want to inspire others. So that is one of the reasons why I am in road track and why I want to be a district trainer. Okay. So why does Road Track Club exist? Okay. There are three main reasons why Road Track Club actually exists. Number one is to exchange ideas with leaders in the community, is to develop leadership and professional skills, and then the most important thing, which is our motto, which is fellowship through service. So I think for those that actually join us in the Road Track 101 workshop, you constantly hear about this thing about family, fellowship, friends becoming. So I think that is one of the main aspect of Road Track and why it exists. But besides that, once you have that bond, it's very easy to carry out projects. Okay. So now I actually want you guys to take a minute. Just take a minute. Think about your whys. Okay. Ask yourselves why. Like why? What? By why here, I mean like your beliefs, your goal, your outcome that you want to actually achieve while you guys are president in your own respective clubs. Okay. While you guys are thinking, I'll give you guys like maybe 2 or 3 minutes. I'm just gonna get Thomas to maybe share a little bit about his why, like for his club, since he's the president for Road Tracker of Pulu right now. And since he used to be a road tractor from UTP, maybe he can share with us what's the difference between the whys of a institutional based club and the whys of a Rotaract club, which is on a community level. Yeah, Thomas?
All right. So why I joined the Road Track Club of UTP? So I was an ex-interactor from my high school. I was an interactor since Form 2 until Form 5. So that's like 4 years. And then I started to... Why I joined Interact is because it's an different club from the usual English societies, Chinese societies, basketball, ping pong, all those typical clubs. Because Interact, they do something like ComServe, we paint the school, we do IU days. All those are really fun things, and you get to know people from around your community more. So I fell in love with the things that I can learn, the people I can know, and the experience that I am being exposed in general while being an interactor. So what made me join Road Track is I first knew Road Track was back in 2010, 10 years ago, during my district Interact conference in Seremban. So there I met an road tractor, and then he introduced me about road tractor, what they do, what they achieve, and what is road track in general. So that road tractor was Nicholas Goh from Penang. I'm sure some of you guys know him. Yeah, so that was my first spark about road track. So when I get into University Technology Petronas, coincidentally they have a road track club there also. So without a second thought, I joined them. So Road Track Club UTP is all about doing great things with really limited resources, because as me and Sanjeev know, UTP is a very, not to say very, it's quite a remote campus, because we are located in Chrono. It's about like 40 minutes from Ipoh. So we have quite limited resources and connections from the central region road track clubs. So most of the times we plan, we execute, and we do events and projects ourselves. We do have some collaborations with Kelana Jaya and Road Track Club Kelana Jaya and Penang, which is the Penta project, which is a collaboration of 5 clubs executing a community service project. I think they really can bring this back, because it's really a good platform to get to know each other between clubs. And then, of course, the signature international goodwill visits from UTP. So we went to like Cambodia, Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines. Yeah. So you can really feel amazed at how a bunch of students from a jungle, you say UTP is a jungle, from a jungle that can achieve so many things with such limited resources, because for the international goodwill trips, we actually get very limited sponsors and support from the school or our Rotary Club. So we have to raise the fund ourselves and then basically go there and execute our community service projects. And moving on to Pudu. So why I joined Pudu is because the friends that I made in the district. So I was in UTP for 5 years, a good 5 years. So I met a lot of close friends they are my close friends now in Rotary. So Pudu is more like a family. So we have fun, we smile, we do things together, we have arguments together like all families. But at the end of the day, is we get things done now. We solve things together. We achieve a common goal together. So yeah, and then so from UTB to Pudu is actually like a transition from a teenager to an adult. And then what you feel and what you want in life may differ during different stages of life, but what important is that the passion and love that you have for road track remains the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Back to Joseph.
So is it okay if I say that for your term as president, one of the whys that you want to tackle, which is like why you want to focus on, is actually fellowship.
Yes.
Fellowship then. Okay, all right.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe we can get somebody from the crowd to also share. Is Wei Ching from Road Track Club of Kelana Jaya here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, like maybe you can share a little bit about what you think Road Track Club of Kelana Jaya's why is for this term. Yeah, I believe like looking at how Road Track Club of Kelana Jaya has been this term, I would say like one of your main focus is actually community service. Is that right? Like, or is it also more on fellowship?
It's more on fellowship. For the term of Calvin, he wanted to focus more on fellowship to keep the bond going. And only when the bond is strong can you execute good projects.
Okay. Sure. All right, thanks. Or you have anything else to add?
I think that's all for now.
All right. Okay, so so now that we have the road tractor's point of view, maybe we can get our guest speaker, Sanjeev, to maybe share on the different whys of his experience in Road Track Club of UTP, and now he is in the Rotary Club of Kelana Jaya. Like, what's the difference between the whys of a Rotary Club that he was in and a Rotary Club that he's now in? Yeah, and Sanjeev?
Okay, I think one of the important things about this golden circle is the first question is in the most inner circle is why. And this question is very important because why connects to the deepest part of us, the deepest connection that we have, which is the feeling and emotion. In a lot of things that we do, the strongest bond is the feeling and emotion. I think that's the strongest bond. A lot of times when you ask people about experiences, past experiences, they couldn't tell the exact details of the experiences, but they can tell you what they feel about the experience. So that is why the question of why is the most important thing before we go into the hows and the whats. So for me, for example, why I first joined Road Track is 17 plus years old, living SPM, going to a remote place that time was Benam Valley. So I don't have any friends. So it's a feeling of loneliness, being away from any friends and family, first time being away from family for a long period of time. So we found a group of ex-interactors. So that is how we chartered the Road Track Club of Benam Valley. So the why back then is loneliness. It's not doing great things or being helping the community around. It's just loneliness and needing that friendship and some common ground. So from Benam Valley, and then from there when I went to UTP, I became the president of the Road Club of UTP only after one term. So the half a year, then after that I become the assistant council director, and then immediately become the president. So it's quite a fast track at that time for UTP to become a president in your first year itself. But at that time, my voice is, so the familiarity is there. And I think like what Thomas said, the why at that time is wanting to really help people. At that point, I feel blessed to be a Petronas scholar. I got enough allowances. So we wanted to do more things. And there's a lot of poor villages around UTP at that time. So the why has changed from being lonely to now more altruistic. So it's to assist more people. And then from there, when I graduated, I started working, and then I joined the Road Track Club of Subang because it gives me the feeling of family. At the time, the Road Track Club of Subang is very active and they're very close knit. We meet every week for whatever reason. They are friends. They watch movie together. They go for holiday together. So that bond is also something that is very important to me. So the feeling of being family and very close-knit family, because Subang back then was very small. It is still very small now. I think that is the curse of Subang. At that point, we only had six members, I think. But close-knit families, and we do great projects. So that is why I joined Subang. I've actually gone 7-8 clubs before I joined Subang. And then after Road Track Subang, where I graduated, and then I took a while before I joined Rotary. And why I joined Rotary is because, like I think I've said in the Road Track 101, at that point I've reached the pinnacle of Road Track, and I've become a manager at work. So I wanted a mentor, someone who can help me become a better person professionally and personally. So I see that in the Rotary Club of Kelana Jaya, where there's a lot of very, very experienced people, and they're willing to bring you under their wing and to help you, to give advice and to bring you into the family. And that is why I joined Rotary of Kelana Jaya after 3 years of break from Rotary. So the why has changed from just being lonely to wanting to do great to again feeling having a family and a close bond to wanting some mentorship for my personal professional development. So the why can change, and personally, I feel the why don't have to be a single why. It could be a few different whys you want to join Road Track or Rotary. For one example, last time why I joined Intract Club is because the main why is not because to help people to do great things. It is to meet because Intract has the prettiest and friendliest girl. They are very friendly. There's IU night where you can hang around. So for someone from primary school, all boys primary school, that is like the ideal club to join. So that was the main why. Yeah, we're helping people all come as a result of the whys. So the whys changes, and then there could be one or more whys each of us and each club. And I think the more important thing is not as presidents or incoming presidents or someone who aspires to be president, you not only have to ask the question of why to you yourself. As we can see, different clubs have different motive and focus as well. So the why have to see what is the why of KJ Subang to do Central College. Different clubs have different whys. Some clubs have more fellowship. The whys is more fellowship. Someone to help orang asli, someone to help refugee, someone to just have a lot of fun. Some likes to go traveling together. So different clubs have different whys, and it's very important for institution-based clubs when you graduate and you want to join a community-based club is to find a club that has a why that suits you.
Correct.
Yeah? And I think finally, as president, you will have members that have different whys when they join your club. So that is also very important. So the why of the club is not only you as a president, but also to see what your members want to do, what triggers them, what relates to them at the deepest level, and to see how that can all be incorporated into your club to be a successful club. So it's not just your club, it's not just club tradition or history that you need to carry on, but to also see the different chemistry of members and the purpose and the needs of all the members. That is how you become a great club, in my personal opinion. Yeah. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Sanjeev. I think that was honestly a very good answer. I hope all of the upcoming presidents that are joining this Zoom call actually get something out of what Rotarian Sanjeev just mentioned. So like what he mentioned, if you have some trouble finding your own whys for your own road track clubs, what you can do is you can discuss with the board of directors, or you can gather input from your members, because everybody will have different whys. And like what he mentioned previously, I can relate. What he mentioned was he was from an all boys school. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sanjeev. I was also from an all boys school in high school. So after I graduated from high school, when I entered university, I was very outgoing. I wanted to know more people. And my why back then was actually to join Road Track Club. But the reason why I stayed until now is because my why changed. So that is what may happen as well. You have your initial whys, but once you are in Road Track, your whys will change. So why I transitioned from Road Track Club of APU into Road Track Club of Ampang is because I feel like Road Track Club of Ampang's why suits me more now. And that's why I'm in Road Track Club of Ampang. So I hope you guys actually spend some time and actually try and identify your whys. If you guys have done so, please just type it in the comment box and let's see what you guys have to say. All right. If you guys have already identified your why. All right. So let me see if I can see the chat. All right. Wow. Okay. So a lot of people is saying because Ampang got girls. Not really. Like Ampang, Pudu has girls as well. I'm pretty sure other clubs also has girls. That's not the main reason why.
Ampang is women already.
Women. Yeah. So your whys will be different, and the first step to being a very good president, I think, is to actually set a why for your road track club. Once you have that in place, people that are attracted to your why will naturally join your club, and you won't have to worry that much about membership. You just have to focus on marketing after that. All right. So once you guys have, I think somebody mentioned about the Road Track Club of Nottingham University's why is mainly on community service and fellowship. Yes, I think that is a very good why. So it's basically going back to our motto, fellowship through service.
Yep.
So once you have that, once you have your whys, the next point that you want to do is the how. So now, for example, University of Nottingham, you guys want to do fellowship through service already. So how do you guys want to do that? And how your club does it differently? Sorry, give me a minute, yeah? Yeah. So once you have determined your why, now you have to move on to your how. Okay, so how you want to do it differently. So for example, if you want to focus on fellowship through service, I can think of an example of what my club did. And what we did previously is we actually had a project which focuses on park cleanup. But how we made it different is that we blended in the other avenues into the project. So what we did is that we made it fun and also community service and club service. So what we did is we actually clean up the park in a very fun manner where we split them up into teams, and each team is supposed to collect a different kind of materials. So you clean up the trash in the park, and then the team that collected the most trash, they'll win. And then it's like an amazing race style. So from that, you actually do it differently. Okay. And there's another project, I think Road Track Club of APU recently did it. I think you guys, maybe Jagdish can share a little bit on it. You guys actually went to Langkawi, is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So what avenue do you think your Langkawi trip actually covers?
Okay, mostly because like APU wise, we always like to promote fellowship because we feel like Wei Ching said lah. Basically, if you have fellowship in the club, your members would be driven more to like execute projects. So what we did was we went to Langkawi, and the thing that we focused on is more towards like fellowship, because like not only we did like with our like more board members, but also we opened it to like all like every like road track member, because we don't want to make them feel excluded, like, you know, like it's only like a certain circle of people. You want everyone to feel like road track is a club where, you know, you can join, you can have fun, meet new people, do like community service. So by having this trip, I feel that we wanted to, like, what do you call that, get the bond going with some of the members that we don't know yet, between and also with the members that we already know, so that we can strengthen the bond between like all the members in our club. So yeah, that was the avenue that I was going for.
All right. So actually, I guess you guys can say you guys did a little bit of PD as well, right? I believe you guys learned how to make brownies, right? So it was a club service / professional development. Am I correct?
Yes, you can say that.
Brownies.
Yeah, just normal brownies, man.
Are they edible or not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Normal,
edible,
normal,
of course.
normal brownies, normal brownies.
Normal.
No hash or wheat inside.
No, just normal brownies. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, like no lah. I mean, seriously, it was just normal brownies. But I think, like you see, like it depends on how you want to blend these 4 avenues to actually make it a different, and how you want to make it stand out to your club members. So once you have your why, once you get your how, next comes your what. And that's basically the final step. So what you should be doing as president, I think it's pretty straightforward. Once, for example, University of Nottingham, you guys have figured out you guys want to do, your why is to focus on fellowship and community service. How you want to do it? Maybe you guys want to focus on, let's say, Orang Asli. So how you guys want to do it? You guys going to raise funds to help the Orang Asli. Help the Orang Asli in what sense? What kind of projects you guys want to do? And so last but not least, it will come to the what of the outer circle. And that is basically what kind of projects you want to do to achieve your house and to subsequently achieve your greater why. Okay, so with that, your roles and responsibilities of a president, I would say the first thing first is
Can I chip
determine
in
your
for a
why.
while?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'll chip in for a while. I think for a road track club, we know the hows and the what, but personally for me, as a road track club, we got the experience, we got the numbers, we got the networking, the support. Always think our hows and what, whether someone on the outside can sit down and think and do a simple project. If they can do it as a road track club with all the support system and all the structures that we have, we need to beat that. So we cannot do projects, we cannot do the how and what that is equivalent to someone that just sit down and say, hey, this weekend, let's buy some groceries and give it to the folks home. Yeah, so we need to beat that. So our hows and what are also important to say that what are our differentiators as compared to someone that sits down in front of the TV while watching Netflix and say, why don't tomorrow I buy a few bags of rice and then donate to folks home? You need to beat that. So our hows and what are also very important, that we become different and become better than a casual group of people on the outside doing something.
Yeah, basically aim high, guys. With the support system that's provided in Road Track and Rotary, you guys can achieve so much more. Like in the beginning, I'm not quite sure for those that actually joined the Road Track Online Festival. Originally, we only planned to raise around 5,000 ringgit, but with the support from Rotary and Road Tractors, we actually managed to quadruple that amount. In the end, we actually managed to raise around 20,000, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so that's a very incredible feat, and I think you can only achieve that in Road Track. So once you've got your whys, your hows, and then your what, I need you guys to do this, and it's very simple. Later on, Thomas will be sharing in the chat a link, or I'll just ask IDRA Ligun to post it in your president group. And this is a checklist that provides a very comprehensive guide on what you should do as a president. Because of the lack of time, I'm not going into too much administrative tasks. So it's very simple. You just follow this checklist. It has already listed out what you guys need to do before your term starts and before your term ends. If you guys have any questions, you guys can just contact me after this and I'll be glad to walk you guys through it. But this list, I have gone through it. It is very comprehensive. Okay, so after this, what you guys have to do is have an annual planner. So you guys have your whys, you guys have your hows, and then the whats. So you guys will know what kind of projects you guys want to do. So a very important aspect of making this a reality is by having an annual planner. Really put the dates in and be as specific as you can. List all the dates, the activities that you want to carry out during the year, like what are the projects that you want to carry out, who is going to be in charge of the project, and really try to make it a reality. I think Sanjeev has something to say on this part. He maybe walk you guys through it. Before that, maybe I'll just give you guys an example. So this is an annual plan example. This is super high level. So for example, on the left-hand side, you see July to September is usually the installation season where all the clubs will have the installation. Introduce your upcoming boards. September, we are actually having Asia Pacific Regional Road Track Conference. But due to the COVID situation, we are looking at a possible postponement. I'll keep you guys updated. December, you guys will usually have your annual general meeting. It is suggested to have it then, so you guys can have your upcoming board of directors to start preparing for their upcoming term. March, you guys will have your World Road Track Week, which is to commemorate the first ever Road Track Club. April, we'll have Taiwan Goodwill Visit, where we'll be going to Taiwan next year. May, you'll have your DRC, DRA, and DAN, which is a combination of all three district events, like what Niku mentioned earlier, and your awards and citations submission, which I'll touch on later on. So yeah, Sanjeev, maybe you have something to add on for the annual planner.
Yeah, I think one of the message is if you're not planning, you're planning to fail. I think that is very important thing. Then from what we see that a lot of clubs start off the term very gung-ho and very aggressive, wanting to do a lot of things. But because they don't put it on paper, they don't put it in black and white, the deadline keep being pushed, and before you know it, like end of term, we haven't even done half of what we wanted. So a good example of what as a contractor back then do is it's very difficult to get everyone to sit down and come up with the annual planner because it takes a lot of time and effort. It's very tiring. So what you can do is schedule your club assembly somewhere outside, somewhere away from your normal meeting place, allocate a full day or a full weekend for it, have fun, sit down, do the annual planner. So Road Track Club of Subang, we have done our club assembly in Pulau Ketam, in Genting, we are on Cameron. So it's just a weekend of having fun. And then in the afternoon, we sit down, we do the year planner again, night after dinner. The following day, we look at it again and fine tune it, and then we come back to PJ. So I think having everyone in a single location and coming out with a year planner is very important. Joshua, can you share the Google Doc that or the Excel that I sent to you?
All right.
Through this. So
yeah,
what is important is it's very important to just get a blank calendar from July to June the following year, and then map out all the important dates that Joshua has put in here. Once you got the date, you put in those dates into your annual calendar. Then you map out all the public holidays that you cannot do anything. You can cancel your club meeting. You don't do a project as well. You can cancel those out, and then you can go visit the Road Track website and look at the events calendar and DRA availability. Map out all those items, and then you see where is the empty slots. And then that is when you start putting in your projects. And from putting in the projects on the date, you will have to work backwards and actually decide when to start the activity. So that is a very important, very easy tool, and but then very important to do. And I think one of the things, a good benchmark to have is every avenue have one big project and one small project. Very simple, one big, one small project. So for example, club service, small project is watch movie together. Big project is to arrange for a weekend trip for professional development, maybe visit charcoal factory or what, so you can do club service and then you can do PE. So those kind of activities, every avenue come up with one big, one small. So by then you will have at least 8 projects in your annual planner already. So Common just shared that is something that what I do with road track is every year I do one road track masterclass. So this year I'm supposed to do one road track masterclass, but because of this COVID that didn't happen. So the first one that I did last time is 2018 to 2019. So that is what I make all the club presidents and club BOD to discuss on what are the projects to fill in their club calendar. So you have asked yourself your whys. So you know what are the passion and what are the interests and what are the goals of your members. We try to carry out all those and then come up with a different projects and then populate the calendar. By populating the calendar, you will also know which month is too heavy, that it becomes unrealistic to do a project. You move the project to a month that is quite empty. Or when institution based, you know when your exams are, you block out those months so you don't have any project activities, so not to overburden yourself and overpromise to other people. So I think that is one of the things that you can do is come up with this calendar, sit down with your whole club and then think about the projects and then work backwards so that every avenue, every director, assistant director, committee member know when the project planning should start. And as a president, once you have finished delegating that, you just monitor whether they follow the milestones given. So for example, if you want to bring orphans to watch a movie, for example, you know that you need to start working on it 1 month before. So 1 month before you go to your concert director, hey, have you start contacting the orphanage and contacting GSC, PGV to block purchase the ticket or not? So as a president, a lot of times your job is not to do hands-on project, but your job is to monitor your avenues, your committee members, whether they have done theirs. So by delegating, by empowering, you will manage your club better rather than micromanaging. So one of the important tools is having your club calendar, which is your annual planner. You put in all your public holiday, district events, award submission, Rotary submission, RI award submission, all those kind of things, put it in, and then from there you will know where to put your projects. Yeah. Thanks, Josh.
Right, awesome. I think adding on to what Sanjeev said, this not only help you in Road Track Club, but when you go into the working world, this is super beneficial. So for Sanjeev, he is also a project manager and myself is a junior project manager. I believe most of the skills that we picked up during our presidency or while in Road Track really helped us out in our careers. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sanjeev. Yeah. So try and be as specific as you can in your annual planner, as detailed as you can. So one of the other things that you guys can put inside your annual planners is your meetings. So over here, you can see that in Road Track, we usually have 4 types of meetings. The first one is your club meetings, where you meet together with all your members. You guys have to meet at least twice a month, and you guys cannot cancel more than 4 meetings in a year. The next one, you have your board of directors meeting, where you guys meet with your community service director. Maybe you guys can plan, like what Sanjeev mentioned previously, get the milestone, pass up on the progress every month. So at least you guys know you guys are on track. Next thing would be your annual general meetings. You usually have 1 AGM in the year, and it's usually for inducted members only. So this is usually at the end of the year, which is around December, like I put it in. So you guys can decide on who's the upcoming presidents and everything, as well as to review what you guys have achieved in the first half of the term and what else you guys can achieve in the second half of the term. So apart from that, you have your district board meetings, which is usually held once every quarter after a district event. So we're actually having the last district board meeting next Saturday night. So for the current presidents, I believe you guys have already known about this. So for the upcoming presidents, you guys will find out more about this as you guys go on. Okay. you guys will actually receive an email from the district secretary. So the other thing is your DRR visits and your DG visits. So this is also a very important thing that you guys should include it in your annual calendar. The DRR visit is usually only once a year, and she's here to actually make like a health check to see if your club is healthy. The DG visit is similar, but it is done on a Rotary scale, meaning like the DG will actually visit the Rotary club, your sponsoring Rotary club, to check on your Rotary club as well as the Interact clubs to see how you guys are performing. So that's basically it for this. On the house, it is also in the checklist already that that Thomas have sent in the group, so you guys can refer to that as well. So the other thing that you guys should consider adding into your annual calendars is your relationship with your Rotary clubs. So what I mean by this is that maybe one of your whys is to bridge the gap between your Rotary club, your Interact club, and also your Rotary club. So what you can do is maybe you can have a joint project, maybe a joint meeting. Maybe I can get somebody from the crowd to share this. I believe Wei Ching, Rotary Club of Kelana Jaya and the Rotary Club of Kelana Jaya, you guys' relationship are pretty good. Like maybe you guys can share, maybe you can share some examples with us on how you actually maintain your relationship with Rotary Club of Kelana Jaya. Yeah.
And how we maintain is actually, from my perspective, is to be in a relationship. Just like any relationship, it takes effort. So if I were to categorize this into a few stages, first we need to get to know them, their names. Like how many of you guys actually know the names of your Rotarians? Half of it? Few? None? And you get to know their names, you get to know their interests, then you start talking and eventually go on food dates, sports dates, and you start to know them on a deeper level. For example, their childhood and etc. And I'm not talking about this in a boy-girl relationship context, but the essence is the same. So at the get to know you stage, we made an effort to have joint meetings with the Rotarians. So on the Thursday, the Rotarians have the meeting in Bukit Kiara Equestrian, and we just join them with their meeting, and then we can brainstorm together for joint projects maybe. And since we are having a meeting there anyway, you might as well enjoy the food. And after that, we have a fellowship session. And usually it's like something simple like card games, board games, anything interesting just to keep the mood going and break the ice. And the second stage would be the so-called dating stage, I would say.
Dating stage.
Okay, right now we are still having this ongoing project called dating stage, get to know you on a mid-level. RACRC sessions series where we have a friendly competition with the Rotarians. I think the last few ones were like basketball competition, chess game competition, and just the last one was a pool competition with a twist. Like for example, I think Sanjeev played the pool blindfolded, right? Or was it his partner?
Wow.
Yeah, it's just to keep everything funny, keep everything fair, because not everyone is a pro pool player. And just keep everything interesting for all to enjoy. I think that's a great way to mingle and bond. And for this term, we had an interesting project, which is the deeper sense stage. It's called the High Rotarian Project, where we get to interview our Rotarians and digging some juicy stuff about their personal lives and love lives and careers. And we even managed to get a tour in one of our Rotarians' company.
Nice.
And if it's not for this, really, I wouldn't have known that one of my Rotarians is actually behind the body that came out with PTPTN.
Oh wow.
It's
Interesting.
yes, it's really mind-blowing, I would say. So unless you get to know them and build a relationship with them, you won't be able to maintain relationships. It takes effort.
Are there any Rotaract clubs that are present here that are pretty close with their Rotary clubs? Maybe you guys can share some other examples as well. Anybody else? Okay, there is none. Then maybe Sanjeev, you can give us a little bit more on like what kind of relationship that you think Rotractors and Rotarians can actually build to bridge that gap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think different Rotary clubs and Rotaract clubs are very different. Same like how parents or grandparents' relationship with their children. Some are super smooth, some are very close, some are a bit on the rocky side. But there's always ways to improve on things. I think the first thing for Rotarians is to see the Rotractors all the time, and even when the Rotractors are not asking for things. One of the things that the Rotarians hate is every time I see a Rotractor, they're here to ask for money. I mean, you don't go to Rotary Club only when you need help or you need money. So you build the relationship when things are better, and when you need help, then the Rotary Club will hopefully willing to help you on that part. Not to say every Rotary Club will do that, but maybe for example, for our relationship with Rotary of Kelana Jaya, last term's project, the project Ocean Blue. So like what Wei Chin said, the Rotractors have come to the Rotary meetings, and at every Rotary meeting, board of directors will do announcement, and Darren or Kelvin or Wei Chin will do the announcement on behalf of Rotary as well. So from Rotary point of view, we also took the initiative to make Rotary part of Rotary. It's not a sub body of us, but it is part of us. And every time the Rotractors are there at a club meeting, we will pay for the dinner. You know, that is how we reciprocate the effort by the Rotractors coming to the Rotary meeting. And one of the things that Project Ocean Blue, when initially the Rotractors wanted to sell the reusable metal straws, right?
Yeah.
And like typical, if you buy small volume, you get charged more expensive per unit. So what I told the contractors then is, okay, how much do you want to do? What are the volume that you're looking at? So instead of buying 50 straws at a higher price, why don't you buy 100 straws? Why don't you go and buy 200 straws? You know, you get lower unit cost. But as Rotractors, a lot of times you don't have the financial might to put in that amount. And you ask your students or people who just started working to fork out 5,000 ringgit to 10,000 ringgit as a deposit for metal straw, a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. So that is when the Rotary Club comes in and says, okay, how much do you need? 5K? Now, take this 5K. Once you get the profit, you return back to the Rotary Club. That's
no
it.
interest, huh?
No interest. Yeah, well, they pay back within a few months. So to us, it does not hurt Rotary at all. And I think for the 5,000 ringgit, I didn't even, the Rotary Club didn't even need to support single individual Rotarian, just put up a 5K take. After you've gotten the profit, you return it back to them. So that is how a good relationship should be. You look it when times are good. So when you need the help, you get the help more easily. Then I think some of the ideas like what Wei Chin has said, having the sports between Rotary and Rotary, I think that helps the bond beyond just club meetings and club projects, which sometimes can be very serious. Go play basketball, go play badminton, go play pool. We were supposed to have karaoke competition in February, but because of COVID, that didn't happen. And the High Rotarians project was also a good project because the Rotractors get to know the Rotarians at a very at a deeper level about their job. And this is going back to what I earlier said, mentorship is very important in Rotract for Rotractors to stay longer and be more committed in Rotract. So how you want to get a mentor is by knowing the Rotarians at a personal level, what they do, why are they in Rotary, what are the projects that they have done. So you will know which Rotarian suits you and you want them to be your mentor. So and you get the benefit of touring the factory, touring the companies, or one of the examples is our Rotarians own Airbnb. Where was it? Bukit Tinggi, was it? So get to stay in the Airbnb for free and then tour around Bukit Tinggi. So those are some of the benefits that you can get from these joint projects with Rotary and Rotary. So it doesn't have to be always participating in Rotary's project and you become a foot soldier or asking Rotarians to come and pay money to your project. Joint projects are actually very good projects because you can show your capability and the Rotarians will trust you. And if you're a student looking for internship and these Rotarians have the companies and the factories, you will do that very successfully. I've seen a lot of examples, especially ATC students. They get a lot of placement in law firms owned by Rotarians. Yeah, so I think that is one of the main items in maintaining relationship with Rotary. Keep it constant, keep it consistent, and give and take. It's similar like our relationship with our parents as well. Always give and take and have respect for each other. Yeah.
I think that's very important. All right. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I think basically to treat them as a friend, like what you would do them, what you would do with your friends, try to keep in contact. Yeah, I think that was a very good insight from Sanjeev. Yeah, moving on is now that you have determined your whys, your hows, and your whats, and you think you've done a pretty good job throughout the term. You have planned out your whole term and your term is ending. That's basically right now. And you know what? We from district also want to recognize you for your effort. If you've done a good job at everything, there's actually recognition and awards for you guys. So one of the things is the district awards night, which was supposed to happen somewhere in June. But I'm not quite sure if it's still going to be online, but details will be confirmed later. So basically what the District Awards Night does is it recognizes all the clubs for their outstanding projects that were successfully organized within the Rotary year. And tomorrow is actually the last day for the submission for this term's projects. So for the clubs that have still not yet submitted your written proposal, I suggest you guys do so and submit it, and who knows, you might be presented with an award during the District Awards Night. For the next term's DAN, it is still yet to be confirmed, but like what I mentioned previously, it should be around somewhere in May. Okay, so some of the projects that are going to be presented during this District Awards Night in June is Most Outstanding Community Service Project Award, Most Outstanding International Service Project Award, Professional Development Award, Most Outstanding Fellowship, Most Outstanding Road Tractor Award, Most Outstanding Road Tractor Club Award, and Most Outstanding Newsletter Award. So maybe somebody from the crowd can give an example of some of the projects that you guys have actually won before. So I can actually give one myself. I think one of the projects, okay, during my term as president, I actually got the Most Outstanding Road Track Club Award. And how we did it is by actually organizing a district event. So we actually organized the District Road Track Conference, and it was one of the first collaboration events with the Road Track District 3310. So it's basically all of Malaysia plus Singapore. We actually had a joint Road Track conference. So it was pretty cool. And besides that, we also did multiple projects during the term. And yeah, that's how we actually managed to get the Most Outstanding Road Track Club Award. But one thing that I do want you guys to know is that while it's good to set these goals, I think the most important thing still comes back to your whys. If you have very good whys and you guys plan your project, carry it out, the recognition, the awards will come by itself. The same thing goes for life. If you really like your job, you found your why in the job, you do a very good job, you will get a salary increment or anything like that. Yeah. Somebody raised their hands. Yeah, Nick Lim from Road Track Club of SCP. Do you want to share about the projects that you have won? Or what questions do you want to ask? Okay, nothing. So maybe can I get, so I'm looking at the chat. President-elect Jong Koo from Road Track Club of Ampang has actually won a Best Professional Development project before. Jungkook, maybe you can share with us like what was the project about and how you managed to win a best PD project.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
I seriously can't remember the name of the project, man. I think
Exodus, is
when
it?
you still, I think first year, I think
Survivor
second year.
only.
Sorry, what's my project name again?
Survivor only.
Survivors. Yeah. Basically, the project touches on giving a few sets of skills which a normal person would need. Like for example, how to change a tire. We make it into a series of like Amazing Race, but we segment it into different. For example, you have to change tire. You have to, I think, learn about different types of plants which might be useful when you're in the wilds. What else? I think you have to learn how to identify
fire?
I think, and a few different more skill sets or maybe survival skills you might need when you're in the wilds lah. So basically, we make it fun by having it in a amazing race style, and that's how we learn lah. Yeah,
Alright.
for being a professional development project.
All right, awesome. Thanks for sharing. So yeah, if you guys have any more projects that have won all these district awards, feel free to just comment down in the text field. Yeah, Thomas, maybe you can change the spotlight over to me. Yeah, so now let's move on to the final session, which is the Rotary and DRR citations. Right. So some of you guys may know, but there is these two citations, which is the Rotary citation that is set by Rotary International, and then there is the DRR citation that is set by our district road track representative. So both of these citations are there to ensure that our road track clubs are functioning well. The Rotary citation is there to ensure that your club is actually surviving. It's like the bare minimum for a well-functioning club. The DRR citation actually goes one step further in making sure that your club actually excels in the district. So these two come hand in hand, and you should try your best to achieve it to make sure that your club is thriving. I think all clubs want to do that, correct? So these are some examples. I'm not quite sure if it's very visible for you guys. So on the left-hand side is the Rotary citation that was for this term. But the right-hand side is actually the DRR citation as for the upcoming term. So for all of you guys, which are the future presidents, you guys can refer to this DRR citation. If you guys have any questions, you guys can just ask Lee Kun, who's on the line. So maybe Lee Kun, you want to share a little bit about how you actually came up with your DRR citation and maybe how it ties back to your why.
Yeah, so if you lead back to the core of the golden circle, why I choose the 10 criteria for the DRR citation. As I've addressed earlier in the launch of the DRA, I have two very simple goals, which is the collaboration and service. And if you have a look at the citation, there are criteria encouraging the clubs to join district events, or even better, to assist in organizing the district projects or events, especially the ComServe projects. It would be very, very good if you hook on to the ComServe projects, if you share the same focus as the which is the Orang Asli community. And also in the citation, I also encourage collaboration with the Rotaract clubs, as well as the Interact clubs. And it's also very, every DRR goes to encourage all the clubs in the district to stay active throughout the term. And when you have a look at the DRR citation, the criteria listed therein act like a measure to check whether a club is still, it is well functioning. So the district, especially the training team, can also use the citation to identify any club that is struggling and assist any club to stay active and healthy. Yeah, that is the why. Why do I choose the 10 criteria, and it linked back to my main goal as the Rotary year 2021.
All right, awesome. So thank you, Likun, for sharing your vision of your DRR-ship. After this, it's basically the end of our session. So if you have any questions, now is the time to ask it. And before we do that, let me just recap. So start off with district organization. I hope you guys understand the structure a little bit better. And then what you guys need to do after this is go and download the ProTrack checklist that I mentioned previously. Try to see what you guys don't understand. If you guys don't, you guys can just refer it to me or DRR Likun. And then we went into the golden circle where you guys have to figure out your whys, tie it back to the hows and the what. By doing this, I think it will really help your road track clubs. And then you go into your role and responsibilities, which is basically setting an annual calendar, which includes very specific dates, milestones, and timelines for all your projects. And then we have your recognition and awards. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys got something out of it. So now the floor is open. If you guys have any questions, you guys can just unmute yourself, ask us a question, or you guys can just private message me and we can continue from there. Any questions?
Hi, Mr. Joshua. Maikun here from Tech Terrain College.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Michael. Yeah.
Okay. I would just like to ask. Just now, you sent the calendar, right? For the
Yes.
Okay. So I've just gone through the calendar. So if I'm not mistaken, there's a few months missing. So do you want me to just add in another few more columns, or how?
Oh yeah, that is actually just a template for you guys. Yeah, definitely add in more columns.
Okay.
I think the dates, yeah, just add in those few lah.
So
Yeah.
you just want me to add in just for the few of these and just use it for my road track club use lah then?
Yep. This is just more for like your internal use, how you see it, and then how you relate your vision to your club members lah. I think it's pretty good for your first meeting. You just put the calendar up on the screen. All right, this is what we have in plan, so all of your members know what you are doing, where the club is headed. So yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I understood.
Can I say something? I think
Yeah.
the one that Thomas sent is actually the one that I used for 2018-19. So the public holidays and all need to change as well. So and also the different DRRs will have different program and dates. I think that is one. And secondly is it's important to have all this and everyone have a soft copy of it. One of the good things having a permanent meeting is last time in the road track club of Subang, we got a whiteboard in the meeting place and we put upcoming 3 months activities and projects. So every time you go for a meeting, you look at the whiteboard like, oh, okay, these are the three months look ahead of activities, projects. I think visually that helps to keep everyone on their toes. I think that's very important as well. So if you guys want is everyone keep a calendar of this, but rather than keeping in their back pocket and then don't think about it until needed, is at every club meeting like, okay, what's our next projects? What's the projects coming up this month? What's the project coming up next month? You keep everyone on their toes so that the activities that you do are not always last minute, because last minute gives you lower quality than what you actually wanted. So planning ahead will help very much. So do that and always visit your club calendar and make changes as necessary. Sometimes you're like, wait, this is too much lah. Okay, let's cut that back. Or at your AGM, you feel like, okay, this are not working. Let's replace that with different activities, or new interest comes out. Like for example, this COVID-19, no one expected it. We dropped everything for February to June, and we replaced with COVID activities and virtual meetings and virtual concerts. Yeah, it's a live document.
Yeah. DG Liu actually mentioned in the message group is that it's good to actually make use of the Google Calendar and share it with your club members, even via WhatsApp. I think, yeah, that is a very good suggestion, DG Liu. Some of the clubs, you guys may adopt this as well. So yeah, any other questions before we end this session? I think that's basically it for President. Yeah.
Hello, so my name is Vanya and I'm from Road Track Club of Xiamen University. So I have a quick question about so I see that a lot of stuff, for example, like what's called submission for their citation, update information, all of this stuff. So I just want to ask, like, who should we actually contact when we actually need to update or like have some issues or we need to submit something?
For the citations, usually what you do is that you can actually contact DRA Likun. For more information for the other projects, there will be emails sent out to you guys. So again, double check the Road Track Club checklist. It has stated there already where we actually have a Google group as well. So every time you send a message, everybody will receive it. So any updates will be sent through there. And if you're already in the WhatsApp group, I think DRA Likun actually updates that pretty frequently. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
All right,
The
thank you,
other, the
Vanya.
other thing is looking at the checklist. So if your
Mm.
checklist have the focal person and the link, then the checklist will be easier for everyone to refer to, right? Yeah. So
Can you guys actually see my screen right now? Sorry.
yeah. So you see
Yeah.
the checklist has all the links to for everything. Yeah, and I think one of the recommendation of how to approach citations and award is don't take it like a burden that you need to submit them. But all this submission and awards is actually the how to your whys. So it's a dummy's guide to the club. Yeah? If you go through all these hows, you will have achieved part of your whys. I think that is take it as a guidance of what to do in your club, especially when you have no idea. And they are not compulsory to submit, but for every good effort that you do, if you get recognition, it's a feel good to you yourself as well as your club. So it's not compulsory, but if you submit, you get a feel good factor that you are one of the shortlisted one. And if you win, it's just a recognition from fellow refractors that the projects that you do are actually good and beneficial. I think, and road track projects are not just good at your level, but they are equal or even better than a lot of Rotary projects. So I'll give an example. This year we got 2 road track clubs from our district who are shortlisted in the RI Awards. So that is a big thing. Last year we got 1 KJ Project Ocean Blue, which is top 5 in Asia Pac. And last year KJ won 2 awards at the Rotary Awards night. So our projects, road track projects, are actually great projects. And sometimes we look down on ourselves thinking that Rotarians do a better project. We wouldn't know until we submit it. And if we win, it's just a recognition of the good works that the contractors can do with the limited resources that you guys have. So Rotary Awards deadline is tomorrow. I put in the links at the chat. You guys go ahead and try it. And last year, KJ submitted for both. KJ won both. So this year, other clubs, please go ahead and submit, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Sanjay, for that.
Can I say
yeah.
something?
Yes.
Yeah. We actually have a president and secretary group, the WhatsApp group. Please utilize that group if you have any projects, activities, or you have any queries, any questions regarding Rotaract that you want to ask. You can post that to the group. If you want to promote your projects, your activities, you can use that as a platform as well. And coming term, the first few things will be the installation, as well as some of you are asking about the DRR visit. If this COVID-19 situation persists, installation via online is doable. And of course, we'll encourage all to do maybe a closed door or even a virtual installation. And the same goes to DRR visit. And if you want to start booking the DRR, the installation dates, you can always ask my secretary, who is the Melody Tam. I think at the very beginning, Joshua introduced her, and also she is in the president and secretary WhatsApp group. So find her to block the date for installation, for DRR visits. And one more thing, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to have a 3 district events conference. So I would like to open that to all the clubs. If your club is interested in organizing, taking part in to organize any of the district event, PM for more info. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So any clubs want to help the district organize a three joint project. It's basically one joint project, yeah. Okay.
It will
I think
be
somebody
actually-
raised their hands again.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
yeah.
Because this one is a merging of 3 district event, right? So clubs will be in charge for respective or separate district events. So probably RAC Ampang will do the DAN or DRA, or this RAC Sunway, you'll do the DRC. So you'll not have, not one club is in charging for the whole event. So we'll be delegating to clubs so that we can open up to more clubs to take part in the organizing committee. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this goes back to what I mentioned in the first slide, and I think it's a very good opportunity for leaders of different clubs to actually come together, share some ideas, and make this collaboration a very good one. So yeah, if there is nothing else, so all right, the IDRA Likun, you already have 2 clubs that are saying that they're in Road Track Club of PJ and Road Track Club of Taylors. They're very interested in this.
PM for more info. PM me.
PM tepi, PM tepi.
Yeah, PM tepi, yeah.
PM. Yeah. All right, so I'll pass it back to Thomas if there's nothing else.
All right, so any more questions from the floor before we end this session? All right, so I think that's all for now. If you guys have any questions about how the club works, about the submissions, about anything, please do not hesitate to contact Lee Kun and Joshua and the district team. I believe they are more than happy to help you guys about this.
You're also in the team, huh?
Yes, you can approach all the district trainers also. We are more than happy to help you guys. If you have any problems regarding even the relationship with your Rotarians, with your members, or anything, yeah, you can just approach the district, because that's what our responsibility is. So I guess that's all from us. Thank you all for your time and for being with us, and then hopefully all of you have learned something from this session. And yeah, take care and stay safe, everyone.
And don't forget to follow our Instagram and also Facebook page, where we'll be posting most of our event updates there. So yeah.
Joshua and Thomas, sorry,
Yes.
Can I have one last word? Sorry, just one last word.
Sure.
I said it at the 101 session. You guys will be the president, so a lot of times your members will be looking up to you, and sometimes it can be quite a heavy burden on your shoulder as well, especially when you only have less than 2 years of experience. So as presidents, try to find a mentor in Road Track and Rotary that could help you and to bounce ideas and to become mentor to help you grow yourself professionally and personally as well. I think that's very important to stay sane and to keep yourself your feet on the ground. Is try to find a good mentor to help you, and because you'll be the mentor to a lot of club members, so maybe you yourself need a mentor or someone more experienced and higher up than you to help you in that sense. So it's an advice to all the presidents is don't take everything on your own shoulder. Try to have someone to help you, your Rotarians or your fellow presidents or your exco or other people that you look up to, so you can bounce ideas, especially on road track ideas and road track projects. Some advice I can give.
Yeah.
That's all. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So thank you guys for coming. Congratulations to all of the president-elects. I hope that upcoming term will be a very fruitful one. Remember to invite all of us to your events. I'm pretty sure most of us will try our best to make it to your event and show you the support that you need. All right.
All right.
So thank you. Have
you.
a
Bye.
good weekend. And for those that are going for the treasurer workshop, I will see you guys at 4 p.m.
Thank you everyone for your time.
All right.